Today, or well, yesterday by the time this video is up, Microsoft has officially rolled out their backwards compatibility for original Xbox games on the Xbox One. How does it all work out? Actually really well, surprising.
And that, children, is why it sucks to be a cloud.
Now, just like when they rolled out backwards compatibility for 360 games, this is not a situation where all of a sudden every single Xbox game is now playable on the Xbox One. Instead, Microsoft is working title by title to make sure every game is perfectly compatible with the emulation software on the Xbox One and that they're getting the best performance possible. So right now, there are only about 13 games available to play. Now, these are all representatives of some of the biggest hits on the original Xbox, like Crimson Skies, Prince of Persia, Psychonauts, and one game that I actually still own physically, which worked out perfectly for testing the system, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So a really cool thing is that if you are a dinosaur like me and you love to just buy actual physical copies of games and you still have your copies of older titles like this one right here, you can actually pop this in your Xbox One. It's going to download a patch for the game, which is actually just the full game, install it on your hard drive. You're still going to need to leave the disc in the system because it basically acts as a disc check to make sure that you do in fact own this game. And then you're going to be able to actually play old school Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic better looking than ever on the Xbox One. Or if you're actually living in the future and are a civilized person, you could also just buy these games off the Microsoft Store, download them, and be done with it. But there's no fun in that. So now that you've got your old school game installed on the Xbox One, what is the actual experience like playing it? Well, it is amazing. Visuals are crisp and clear in a way that you would not expect for playing a title from back in 2002 on a modern day system. Now, there are some exceptions to this. There are some things where, for instance, text will sometimes have little jagged edges. If there is like an icon symbol for something, it can be blurry when blown up. And of course, if there are any pre-rendered cutscenes in the game, those are just going to look awful. But as far as actual gameplay goes, it looks incredible. Now, this is all thanks to something that Microsoft is calling the Heuchy method. Heuchy or Heuchy? It's H-E-U-T-C-H-Y. Heuchy? It's not Heuchy. Is it just straight up Heuchy?
All I want is my hoochie, mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie, mama.
Which is not anything that modifies the games themselves. These are not any kind of patches or updates to these old school Xbox games. It is the original game code, but instead it has to do with the method of emulation, where it's making use of all the resources available on the Xbox One to get the best possible image for these old school games, where even though they came out, almost 15 years ago when the original Xbox was released, we're instead getting visuals that look like something that was recent. Obviously, the textures aren't the best in the world, but it still looks crisp and clear like it was a recent, albeit maybe lower budget game. And the actual gameplay experience is seamless. I mean, even though the original Xbox controller had a different button layout, it still had the same number of buttons. All they had to do was move a couple things around. For instance, the black and white buttons are now just your left and right bumpers. And you're also making use of most of the gameplay modes in these games. The only thing that is missing for any titles is that because obviously servers don't exist anymore, you're not going to be doing any actual online gameplay with these original Xbox titles. But you can still do co-op that is local, and you can even do system linking with Xbox One so you can do multiplayer games from the original Xbox. All of this put together leads to an experience that far exceeds anything I would have expected for backwards compatibility happening in 2017. I mean, there was very clear love and care put into this system so that people can play favorite games that are 2 generations old on a modern day system with an experience that is seamless and honestly even improved, which is amazing. And the best news is there is more of this to come. Like I said, there are only 13 games currently available, but they are planning to add more coming in spring 2018. And not only that, but using the same method I mentioned earlier, which makes these original Xbox games look better on the Xbox One, they're also going to be adding improved versions of 360 games that'll play on the Xbox One X. Now for that, we don't have a full list just yet, but Microsoft has talked about a couple titles that are going to get this treatment, including the likes of Fallout 3, Oblivion, and of course, Halo 3, because it's a little surprising that Halo 1 and 2 are not on the original games list, but hopefully that'll be part of that spring update. The point is that we're getting the ability to play some of our favorite old school games in modern times in the best way possible.